Welcome to Timeless Insights, a channel dedicated to sharing the essence of books and applied psychology, helping you gain deeper understanding of yourself and live a meaningful life. If you are seeking guidance, motivation, and awakening in your journey, then this is the place for you. On the journey to seek happiness and peace amidst the hustle and bustle of modern life, perhaps each of us has, at some point, asked ourselves, how can we feel joy more deeply, hold on to positive moments longer, and heal the wounds that have left their marks on our souls? From that very question, Dr. Rick Hanson, a renowned neuroscientist and psychologist, wrote Harwiring Happiness as a gift to anyone yearning to live a life with more light. Rick Hanson is not only a scientist, he is someone who has lived, reflected, and transformed pain, anxiety, and emotional deprivation into real healing experiences. In Hardwiring Happiness, he takes readers deep into how our brains operate, especially the natural tendency to remember negative experiences more than positive ones, and shows us a clear path to reverse this mechanism. Instead of letting joyful experiences slip away in a fleeting moment, the book teaches us how to install happiness, turning the most positive emotions into a lasting part of our nervous system and soul. As you listen to this book, you won't just absorb sharp scientific insights, you will also feel the gentle support of a compassionate teacher. Simple yet profound lessons, like how to savor the present moment, how to heal old wounds through the nurturing of positivity, or how to train your inner world to remain peaceful amidst chaos, will slowly seep into your being like morning sunlight streaming through a window, not rushed, but gentle and powerful. And now, I invite you to join me on a journey to explore the essence of this book. Open your heart, relax, and let today's sharing be a gentle touch point, helping you begin to build a foundation of lasting happiness for yourself. The brain's negativity bias, an evolutionary legacy and a psychological burden of the modern age. Humans inherently carry a deep negativity bias, not merely as a habit, but as an evolutionary legacy that has been deeply embedded in the structure of the brain over millions of years. Our brains are hardwired to prioritize the detection and retention of danger, whether it be criticism, failure, or potential risks. This once played a vital role in helping our ancestors detect and avoid threats, wild animals, natural disasters, or hostile conditions, allowing them to survive in a harsh environment. However, in the modern world, where real threats are significantly fewer, this bias has become a major source of prolonged anxiety and persistent sorrow. A single mild critique or a small mistake can leave a lasting imprint on the mind, causing us to ruminate and self-criticize endlessly, while countless compliments, successes, or joyful moments often slip away quickly, faint, fleeting, and easily forgotten. Imagine this. In one day, you experience 20 events, 19 of them positive, like a delicious meal, a pleasant conversation, or the warmth of sunlight. But just one small mishap, a careless remark, or a minor failure can instantly dominate your thoughts, casting a shadow over the entire day. This is the brain's bad is stronger than good phenomenon at work. More profoundly, the brain operates with two types of memory: explicit memory and implicit memory. Explicit memory stores the experiences we can consciously recall. Meanwhile, implicit memory quietly holds on to deep emotional impressions, especially negative ones, often without our awareness. These hidden memories, like invisible seeds, subtly shape our emotions and behaviors, causing positive experiences to fade unless they are deliberately watered and consciously remembered. Thus, understanding the brain's negativity bias isn't just about recognizing a personal flaw. It is the key to transforming how we perceive the world. It allows us to break free from the unconscious pull toward the negative and begin learning how to cherish, remember, and nurture positive experiences in our everyday lives. Inner strength, the steadfast key to weathering life's storms. In the journey of facing life's challenges, every person encounters moments of weakness and uncertainty. But what truly sets people apart is not the difficulty of their circumstances or their sensitivity to pressure. It is their capacity to cope, the inner strength that resides within each of us. It is like a sturdy vessel that helps us navigate through turbulent waters, keeping our souls from being swept away by the storms outside. Neuroscience has shown that inner strength is not a fixed trait we are either born with or without. Rather, it is a capacity that can be cultivated and developed over time. In fact, only about 1/3 of this strength is attributed to genetics. The remaining 2/3 come from intentional practice and personal effort. This opens a door of hope. We have the power to rewire our brains to become more resilient and grounded. Imagine an ordinary person who, after each fall, instead of drowning in disappointment and despair, knows how to wash away negative emotions, nurture positive thoughts, and extract meaningful lessons from hardship. Over time, each of these experiences strengthens the neural pathways of resilience and inner peace. On the contrary, if we let pain and failure weigh us down, the brain becomes increasingly sensitive to stress and more susceptible to negativity. Just like muscles grow stronger with training, the inner core of the soul can be built through small yet meaningful habits. Taking a moment to breathe deeply, listening to oneself, finding joy in simple things, and persistently focusing on positive experiences. These practices form the foundation for each person to become a true master of their emotions, able to govern their moods rather than being ruled by them. In life, anyone can be a warrior, but not everyone knows how to forge their own sword and armor. That inner strength, when recognized and nurtured properly, becomes an invaluable treasure that empowers us to overcome all difficulties, not merely through outer force, but with a deep sense of peace and unwavering confidence from within. Neuroplasticity, the brain's miraculous ability to rewire for happiness. Our brain is not a fixed mechanical structure. Rather, it is a vibrant, living network that constantly changes and regenerates based on what we experience and where we place our attention. This phenomenon is known as neuroplasticity, a miraculous capacity that allows the brain to record and strengthen neural connections based on habits and focus. Have you ever heard of a student who panics at the mere mention of the word exam? That reaction is not random. It is the result of a series of past negative experiences that cause the brain to form neural pathways associated with anxiety and fear. Every time the word exam is encountered, those neural circuits are reactivated and strengthened, deepening the fear and making it harder to overcome. On the other hand, if we intentionally direct our attention toward positive experiences, toward gentle, peaceful emotions, the brain will gradually build and reinforce new neural pathways that allow us to feel more joy, serenity, and happiness. This is the foundation of reprogramming the brain, replacing negative patterns with positive ones, enabling us to live each day with more ease and wholeness. Neuroplasticity also carries a profoundly empowering message. No matter how haunted you may have been in the past by negative thoughts and emotions, you can change that. Through persistence, mindful attention, and conscious practice, positive experiences can be deeply embedded into the brain, gradually transforming the way you respond to the world around you. Just as we train to master a new skill, every time you focus on something positive, you are essentially reprogramming yourself to become happier. And over time, what once felt difficult becomes instinctual, a natural part of how you think and feel. Bad is stronger than good. When the brain chooses to hold on to negative memories, our brain is not only biased toward detecting the negative, it also tends to prefer holding on to painful, distressing experiences far more vividly than moments of happiness or success. The saying, "bad is stronger than good," is no accident. It reflects an ancient survival mechanism that still governs the deep folds of our brain. Imagine a day filled with beautiful moments, a delicious meal, a heartfelt conversation, sunlight streaming softly through the window. Yet a single mishap, a careless comment, or a small failure can overshadow all the good, leaving a lingering wound. Our minds, instead of balancing the scales, often pour all attention and emotional energy into that one negative moment, plunging us into prolonged anxiety or unease. For example, you might receive several compliments for a project at work, but just one minor criticism from your boss can stick with you, haunting your thoughts, shaking your confidence. Those compliments, however sincere and positive, tend to drift away lightly, while the criticism is etched deeply into your brain as a warning signal, prompting hesitation and worry the next time around. This happens because negative memories not only register more vividly, but also penetrate more deeply into the brain regions that regulate emotions and behavior. That's why we often remember a time of hurt or failure so clearly, while joyful successes pass by like fleeting clouds in the sky. In today's modern world, where negative information and distressing experiences constantly flood in through media and social networks, this mechanism becomes even more overwhelming. Our minds are bombarded by stories of insecurity, comparison, envy, and disappointment, prolonging stress and exhaustion with little chance for recovery. Understanding this "bad is stronger than good" tendency is not about becoming pessimistic. It is about learning how to wisely counteract it. When we become aware of the brain's negativity bias, we can consciously choose to focus on and strengthen positive memories as a way to arm ourselves against the shadows of negativity, restoring balance and nurturing genuine happiness. Two types of memory, explicit and implicit, both lean toward the negative. The brain doesn't just store memories in a simple way. It operates through two main types of memory, explicit memory and implicit memory, and both tend to lean towards recording and preserving negative emotions. Explicit memory includes the memories we can consciously recall, like a time you were scolded in a meeting or when you tripped in front of a crowd. These memories are often tied to intense emotions and can easily influence our current mood and behavior. On the other hand, implicit memory stores deep emotional impressions silently outside of our direct awareness. It's like an invisible reservoir of lingering negative emotions, causing us to feel anxious or tense without a clear reason. Due to its subconscious nature, implicit memory often exerts a longer-lasting and more challenging influence than explicit memory. What's important to understand is that positive experiences are often quickly forgotten because they don't trigger strong or threatening reactions, unless we deliberately repeat and consciously recall them. Without this intentional reinforcement, moments of happiness quickly fade away, leaving room for negative emotions to creep in and occupy the mind. For instance, someone might not clearly remember the joy of a short vacation, but constantly feel tense or uneasy in similar situations due to implicit memories of past disappointments or abandonment. This can make them overly sensitive and unable to find genuine peace. Recognizing the differences and power of these two types of memory helps us understand that creating lasting change in life requires persistent practice, reinforcing and intensifying positive experiences in both levels of memory, from conscious recollections to the deepest subconscious impressions. An overloaded information environment, the invisible pressure that drags the brain into a negative spiral. In today's world, we are not only challenged by real-life circumstances, but also overwhelmed by a massive and ever-shifting ocean of information. Social media, news, advertisements, and media channels constantly bombard the brain with thousands of signals each day. From dazzling success stories and glamorous images of others to bad news, gossip, and relentless judgments. The brain, already biased toward detecting and retaining negative information as a survival mechanism, is now even more easily drawn into the streams of stressful, anxiety-inducing content. When we are constantly comparing ourselves to others, someone richer, more successful, or seemingly happier, our minds are prone to slip into states of insecurity, envy, and self-doubt. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing friends traveling, achieving great things, or owning expensive items. Even though you consciously understand that those images are only the tip of the iceberg, your brain continues to send signals of anxiety and tension, comparing and generating a persistent sense of lack. And it doesn't stop there. The constant influx of negative information, news about natural disasters, crime, or social conflict, further increases feelings of insecurity. The brain lacks a strong filtering mechanism to screen out these harmful inputs, so they easily settle into our mental space and elevate our overall stress levels. Therefore, in this environment of information overload and noise, protecting mental health becomes more important than ever. We need to learn to filter information, take intentional breaks, and especially focus on positive experiences, creating moments of peace for the mind. As Dr. Rick Hansen emphasizes, maintaining a green state, a mode of calm, resilience, and positivity, helps the brain reduce pressure, restore energy, and sustain mental well-being in this ever-changing world. The three operating systems of the brain and the two states: Green, red, the foundation of emotions and behavior. The brain is not a single unified block, but a complex system composed of three main operating systems, each with its own roles and functions, working together to shape how we perceive and react to the world. The reptilian brain. This is the oldest and most primitive part of the brain, responsible for controlling basic survival instincts, such as reacting to danger and performing automatic behaviors. It is where primal reflexes like anger, fear, or fight or flight responses are triggered when we face threats. The mammalian brain. This intermediate part of the brain is responsible for processing emotions, social relationships, and deeper emotional responses. It is the center of emotional states like love, attachment, and empathy. The primate brain, the most evolved part of the brain, it is associated with logical thinking, planning, language, and the ability to consciously regulate behavior. This is the part that enables us to engage in complex thought, reasoning, and emotional regulation. Alongside these three operating systems, the brain also functions within two fundamental emotional states. Green state, adaptive. This is a state of calm, connection, and positivity. When in the green state, the brain facilitates creativity, learning, effective communication, and overall well-being. The mind is at ease, emotions are balanced, and we can more easily receive and appreciate the goodness around us. Red state, reactive. This is a state of heightened reactivity, anger, insecurity, and anxiety. When the brain is triggered into the red state, the older operating systems, especially the reptilian brain, take over, leading to strong self-defense responses, increased stress, fatigue, and even long-term health damage. Understanding this structure and how it works helps us recognize that we are not always in complete control of our emotions and reactions. Many times, the brain operates on automatic mechanisms driven by survival instincts. However, becoming aware of the functioning of these three operating systems and two states is the first step toward training ourselves to move toward the green state, a place of clarity, emotional peace, and a more joyful life. When our mind enters the green state, it's not merely a fleeting sense of peace. It becomes the source of holistic physical and mental health. The green state, an adaptive state, creates an ideal internal environment for the body to heal, recover, and grow. In this state, the brain releases beneficial compounds such as endorphins and nitric oxide, natural medicines that relieve pain, reduce inflammation, and soothe the nervous system. Endorphins, often called the happiness hormones, make us feel joyful and help lower stress. Nitric oxide, a key molecule in the circulatory system, helps dilate blood vessels, improve blood flow, and enhance cardiovascular health. In contrast, when we are frequently pushed into the red state, characterized by tension, worry, and overreaction, the body experiences heavy strain. Stress hormones like cortisol are produced in excess, disrupting biological functions, weakening the immune system, and increasing susceptibility to chronic illness. Moreover, the green state not only helps reduce stress, but also boosts creativity, focus, and the quality of our social relationships. A calm mind and balanced emotions allow us to open our hearts, to receive and share love more fully. Therefore, maintaining the green state is not merely a spiritual goal, but a solid foundation for enduring health, paving the way for a long, peaceful, and energized life. The HEAL method, a golden key to rewiring the brain for positivity. Dr. Rick Hansen developed a simple yet profoundly effective method called HEAL, which empowers us to proactively reprogram our brains, turning positive experiences into lasting neural pathways, thereby nurturing deep happiness day by day. Have a positive experience. The first step is to pause and truly pay attention to the small, beautiful moments around us. It could be a child's laughter echoing in a quiet space, the gentle sunlight streaming through a window, or the friendly smile of a stranger on the street. What's essential is to keep the feeling pure, not letting joy morph into craving or attachment. By focusing and acknowledging, we create an opportunity for the brain to recognize and record these moments of goodness. Enrich. Enrich the experience. Don't just stop at noticing. Extend and deepen your awareness of that positive moment. Each joyful experience should be extended at least 5 to 10 times, with each instance lasting 10 to 30 seconds, allowing the positive emotion to sink deeply into the mind. You can enrich the experience through multiple senses. Feel the rough bark of a tree, smell the scent of flowers, taste the coolness of lemonade on your tongue, or walk barefoot on soft earth. Creating novelty in life, learning something new, or changing your environment also stimulates the hippocampus, the region responsible for generating new neurons, making the brain more resilient and healthy. Absorb. Absorb the positive feeling. This step involves immersing yourself more deeply in the positive feeling you've cultivated. Imagine that emotion as a warm stream of light soaking into every cell in your body, easing all tension and filling the inner void with peace and happiness. This absorption creates a solid connection, helping the brain retain and strengthen positive neural connections. Link. Link positive feelings to negative memories. This is an advanced step where you connect new, positive experiences to previously painful memories. This process helps soothe emotional wounds, lessen the power of negative memories, and gradually replace them with healthier responses. Over time, these new links change how you perceive and react to life's challenges. The HEAL method is not just a technique, it is a psychological journey. It allows us to reprogram the brain in a more positive direction, reducing the grip of deeply ingrained negative patterns and opening the door to a more peaceful, profound, and joyful life. The book Harwiring Happiness by Dr. Rick Hansen is not merely a scientific work on the brain. It is a deeply human invitation to each of us. Happiness is not a random gift from life, nor does it entirely depend on external circumstances or luck. Instead, happiness is a skill, a capacity that can be trained, rewired, and nurtured daily. Through profound insights into how the brain functions, along with the simple yet effective HEAL method, the book shows us that we each have the power to actively create a peaceful, positive, and sustainable inner state. By learning how to direct our attention skillfully to retain and enrich positive experiences, we are gradually reshaping the brain, building strong and lasting happiness circuits. The miracle is that this process does not rely on the outside world. It lies in our choices, moment by moment, in how we perceive, remember, and respond to life. We can minimize the negative influences inherited from our evolutionary past, liberate ourselves from cycles of worry and sorrow, and live a life of peace, depth, and meaning. That That is the entire content of today's sharing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, leave a comment to share your thoughts, or send the video to someone who needs a little guidance during confusing times. Please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming content. Thank you for taking the time to listen. See you in the next videos, where every page of a book opens a door into the world within yourself. Wishing you soon find the meaning of your life.